I just learned that my 15-year-old daughter is not my actual child. In order to study for an online class project on family trees, my daughter wanted to take a DNA test. My dad was half Native American, but he died a few years ago, so I don't know how much Native American blood my family has. My daughter came to me because it was my dad. At the time, we didn't tell her mom about it. It turned out that my daughter is not Native American. At first, I didn't see the clear conclusion because it didn't seem possible that the truth was true. I thought there was a mistake. At first, I thought my dad wasn't Native American. After taking the test, everything became clear. My daughter and I were both very upset about what was going on. Daddy, I will always remember how she hugged me tight and kept saying, "I love you, Daddy." When I got home and told my wife about it, she looked like she had a strokey. She started to cry and say she was sorry. I'm sure you can picture it. We got married because she was expecting. The event took place after being together for over a year. It turned out that she was sleeping with more than one guy at the time. She says it didn't mean anything and can't even remember some of their names. She said she didn't know who the father was when she found out she was pregnant. I didn't know about her side activities, so she made me think I was the father since I had the most money. In that case, she might have made the right choice. Making passive income streams has been a hobby of mine for a long time, and it has helped me out a lot in my work. My wife told my daughter about this on tape because my daughter records everything. If I ask my wife more than once, she will say that she has been true the whole time we've been married. I have never had any doubts, but I also had no idea she was sleeping with other men before we got married. I told her I didn't believe her. There are a lot of signs that someone is cheating on you, but I can't think of any of them while we were married. Her phone has never been a secret, and she doesn't use social media. She only drinks on rare events and never goes out with the girls or for any other reason. She is also a stay-at-home mom and wife, so she doesn't have to think about her co-workers. Our home gym is very nice, so she works out there. She says she hasn't cheated on her husband since they got married. But I can't think of anything that makes me doubt her. We have a prenup, so if we get divorced, I won't be upset. But my daughter is a different story. She is furious about the whole thing. I know that teens can be emotional because that's how I felt when I was that age, but she's never been very outgoing. I thought that was something she got from me, nature versus nurture. My kid doesn't like being around her mom. To ruin our family, she has said some really bad things to her mother, mostly variations on calling her a dirty sot. My daughter yells, swears, and cries like I've never seen her when my wife tries to talk to her. My daughter wants my wife to leave the house until after New Year's so she can spend time with her real family, which means me. Christmas is coming up. One time my daughter told me alone that she wants to stay with me if her parents get a divorce. She has even asked if she can turn her back on her mother and become my child. My wife doesn't know about this yet. My wife is getting ready to spend the holidays with her parents. My spouse and I have talked about it, but we have chosen to wait until after the new year to make a choice. I have to say that I'm glad she agreed to leave because I need some time to think about this. I believe I'm writing this to accept what has happened. I went to sleep for a few hours after writing this post. After about 10 hours, I went back to the post and saw that there were more than 200 notes. Thanks to everyone who wrote something, it means a lot. Also, thank you for all the prayers and nice words. The shows of support moved me, and I'm not sorry to say I shed a few tears. I promised to read all of the messages, but I still haven't done so. I want to talk about two things that have been brought up in the comments over and over again, whether I answer you directly or not. Our heritage tests came back different because she doesn't have any Native American blood, so I got a DNA test. When I told my wife what I thought, we got real DNA tests. Now that I look at the first post, I'm sorry I wasn't clear about that. I have made it very clear that she is my daughter and that I am her father, whatever the case may be. I've told her many times that she can stay with me and that I will never leave her. Many people said I might be afraid I'll leave her or no longer want anything to do with her. I tell her every day that she couldn't be more wrong. Now for the best advice, I'm sorry that your wife cheated on you and married you under fake pretenses. One good thing is that you have a girl who loves you. She will always be a part of you and you will do the same for her. No matter what you choose, keep the kid and dump the wife. Tell the child that she can have a relationship with her mom, adopt her, and then file for divorce once she's no longer angry. Have fun, OP. He doesn't have to take her in. If they were married when she was born and OP's name is on the birth record, then he is legally her parent, even if they don't have the same DNA. I'm really sorry, OP. It hurts so much to find out that your partner has been lying to you for so many years. That's what I know, but you have a great kid who will always be yours. Have a wonderful Christmas and get better soon. I don't like reading these kinds of stories, but I also like them. Thanks for posting them, both of you and other people. Being a fake father is a terrible thing to do. There is never a good reason to do it. I'm really sorry, man. What I think is that she lied to you about one of the most important parts of your relationship every single day that it was there. It was never really living, but that relationship is dead. Start that prenup and end it as soon as you can. If you choose to stay with her, you will have to start over with the whole truth, which I think is almost impossible. She took 15 years off your life and took away your freedom to choose your own path. What are the odds that someone who can be vetted hasn't lied about other things? Since it's clear that you love your daughter a lot, you should put her first right now. You both need to go to therapy by yourself. Talk to each other as much as possible at all times. She will need to hear over and over that you love her and that she is still your child. Going forward, she will also need to get along with her mother. It's going to hurt you for a long time. Do everything that you need to do to fix both of you. I wish you the best in her friend's case. Your daughter will need to hear over and over that this doesn't change how you feel about her and that she is still your daughter. However, keep in mind that this could make her start to doubt herself and question everything you say to her. If you don't agree with her, she might think you're being mean because she's not your biological child. The next story is about how I just found out that I've been helping my dad cheat on my mom the whole time. Truth be told, this has been going on for years, but I was too stupid to notice. It makes me sick to think about it. They let me stay with them because I'm 15 years old. I tried to remember when this happened for the first time since I started putting the pieces together. I think it was when I was 5 or 6 years old. I thought it was a dream the whole time, because I remember being sick and not being able to go to school because of it. I didn't know what I was seeing when I saw my dad having sex with a woman in their bed. It wasn't my mom because she had to work that day, and Dad stayed home to watch me. He didn't see me because the door was only slightly open, but I'm sure they were there now that I think about it. I never said anything, and after a while I forgot about it. It was one of those moments that you don't even remember until something brings it back to you, which is what happened a few weeks ago. When I went to my dad's job after school, I saw him kissing one of his friends. I've known her all my life. That's when I remembered all the other times I had as a child, like when I was 6 to 8 years old. When my dad picked me up from school, we would sometimes spend more than an hour at her house. Since she had a flat-screen TV, I never whined. I watched TV in the living room or went to play with her son. My dad always told me not to tell my mom anything because then I wouldn't have any free time after school. It was always fun to go to her house. That's because my mom always told me to do my homework first when I got home and then watch TV. I could watch TV first at his friend's house, though, so I always thought my dad would take me there just to have fun before we went home. I guess that was kind of true, but now that I think about it, he was definitely cheating on my mom with her, and I was just having fun with her son at her house while he did it. I lie to my mom and don't tell her just to watch more TV. I hate myself for it. I have no idea how many years he did this because I never said anything and still haven't said anything. I haven't told anyone about it for years, so I don't know how to say it now. I'm sick and angry. It turns out that my dad has been doing this bad thing to her the whole time, and I'm mad that I didn't know better or say anything. It makes me mad that his friend is friends with my mom, too. I don't want to see her again. It's awful that my son and her son are friends. The times my dad took us to do things together were always fun. That's also going to end now. I haven't been able to think about anything else because of these thoughts. There's no doubt that my parents will split up, and my mom will hate me for lying to her and hurting her. The best piece of advice is that you shouldn't see it as lies. You were innocent and young, and you wanted to have some free time. Your dad used the fact that you wanted some free time against you and lied to you. That's all there is to it. You should tell your mom the truth and say that you didn't know what was going on until now. You really didn't know, sweetheart. You're not to blame, and she won't. This is all your dad's fault, and it's terrible that he linked you to it. Have you talked to him about it? These events have made it so I can't look at him or my mom. Right now I'm trying to stay away from them by staying in my room when I'm not doing schoolwork or chores. I eat early before my dad gets home from work so I don't have to eat dinner with them. I found the book that my dad and his mistress would write to each other when I was 14. This woman and her husband had been to my house for Thanksgiving dinner and other events. My dad didn't spend Christmas with his family because he wanted to stay home with her and sleep in their bed. The school psychologist and I talked about it for a while, and she finally called my mom and told her what I saw or knew. My mom doesn't have any grudges against me. I guess I knew what was going on for a while before I said anything. I felt bad about it for a long time, but it felt great to get it out and let my parents handle it. It's been more than 10 years, but I still think about it often. I agree that I wasn't an accomplice and don't have to take any blame. My dad made his own bed now that he's older. You haven't done anything wrong, thanks for this, but your mom was never really mad at you. What did your mom do with your dad after she found out? After that, did you see the woman again? My dad's friend has been to our house with her son 1,000,000 times over the course of my life, and she's also spent holidays and vacations with us. That makes things worse now. The last story is about a pretty child who is not my child. So this is my first post. The story is pretty long, so I'll try to cut it down. We've been married for 19 years. Together we have 3 teenagers. We just found out that she cheated on us with a friend during our first year of marriage. I had my suspicions all along, but she never said anything to settle them. In fact, she accused me of cheating on her many times over the years, even though I never really did anything wrong. He asked the court to show that he was the father of our son. She didn't know, but I took care of it and won in court. He can't come near us until the child turns 18, which is in 1.5 years. He said in his plea that the affair began 6 weeks after we got married and went on for more than a year. I had no idea, but I had a feeling something wasn't right. She said it happened, but she was high on drugs that he gave her to keep the affair going. When I talked to her about it after the court case, she said it might have happened, but not for a year. He had a statement, but it only had 41 points about what happened. Most of them were scary to read, and they included a lot of things she would never do with me. She said it happened, but she had forgotten about it. She also says what he says is made up, but she won't say what is true or false. A DNA test showed that our oldest child is not actually mine. Not only am I living with an affair from 18 years ago, but my child also knows about it. I'm a complete mess. To begin with, I wanted to work through it, but I made it clear that I only wanted the truth. This hasn't come up, and to be honest, she acts like nothing is different in her life, even though she says we talk about it all the time, which I agree with. There are no answers for me, so we only talk. I can't deal with anything or figure out what happened. If I didn't have his declaration, I wouldn't ask for so many details. But having 41 points about what they did drives me crazy, and not getting any answers from her other than 2 points that aren't true really annoys me. Even though she says she hasn't been with anyone else since then, I do believe her, but other things make me wonder if she could have a romance later on without changing. A big part of the reason I haven't been happy in a long time is what she did during and after the affair. Still, even though I was sad, I promised her my marriage and our children, and even though I had some timeouts, I was ready to stay. Even though she says she's sorry and wants to work on our marriage, I don't know what to do because she won't change or tell me what really happened. Even though I work from home and don't like going out, I've never asked her not to go out. On weekends, she goes out with friends and I stay home with the kids. She thinks I'm telling her she can't go out when I tell her to leave the event and do something else if certain people are there. I've tried to set some limits to help fix our marriage and build trust for the future. As of now, she doesn't seem to want to accept that I want her to leave a party where certain people are present. I think she should at least listen to and accept my views and change her life instead of fighting back. There is a lot more, but this is just a summary for now. Have you ever been in a situation like this? What did you do? Here's the best piece of advice. Try not to try. You shouldn't have to ask, but you are. You're talking, but she should be the one talking. You haven't been happy, but you're still trying to connect. You want limits, but you can't even have a real conversation. Do you want your wife to say sorry? She should be on her knees, but she acts like you're wrong for expecting it. Get up as soon as possible. That's when things will start to go your way. This is great. The lies and deceit have been what this whole process has been about for me. But the lack of regret, even when we talk about separation, is brutal. In our marriage, I can't remember the last time I was truly sorry for something. I think she doesn't even like you because of how she acts. Maybe she never did. You are helpful, though, because you pay the bills, bring her food, and watch the kids while she goes out. She has been lying to you for 18 years and still doesn't care about you. Not at all someone I would want in my life. Have you had a DNA test done on your other kids? I haven't, no. I'm pretty sure they are mine, to be honest. They are both exactly the same as me in every way. And they also look the same. The oldest is very different, but I tried to explain it in my mind by saying that it was because my wife is from Europe. Why did she end the relationship after a year? The truth is that we were having issues at the time, and she was staying the night at a friend's house or in the car. When she felt like it, we would sleep together out of the blue. One day, she bawled her way through the door and told us she thought she was pregnant. I think the affair stopped when she found out she was pregnant, and that was the end of it.